Day 5, Simplifying Expressions Using the Distributive Property, Part 2. As a refresher, distributive property, if we have A times B plus C, we can take A times B and A times C and just add those together. So we take whatever's on the outside of the parentheses and we spread it out. We multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So, number 1, simplify each expression as much as possible. We have a 3 on the outside, so we're going to take 3 times x, which is just 3x, can't do anything better with that, plus 3 times 2, which is 6. So 3x plus 6 is our answer for number 1. Okay, number 2, 7 times x, 7x. 7 times negative 4, that'll be a minus 28. So our answer there was negative, so we have a minus sign. Okay, and that's number 2. I think I like my boxes better. All right, next, number 3. We have negative 3 on the outside, so we take negative 3 times everything. Negative 3 times a is negative 3a. Negative 3 times a positive 4 is a negative 12, so we have minus 12. Okay. Number 4, same issue. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times a negative 5. Negative times negative is positive, so we get a positive 20. All right, now things are going to ramp up just a little bit starting at number 5. We have multiple steps here. So remember, this 2 only affects these two things right there, t plus 8. And this 6, positive 6, only affects those two right there. So we will distribute 2 to these guys. So that gives us a 2t plus 16. Okay, and we're done with this part. We're just going to bring those down. Now over here, we'll take positive 6 times t. That's positive 6t. Positive 6 times a minus 1 is minus 6. And we bring those down. Before we can call this good, we need to combine like terms. All right, so there is a 2t and a positive 6t. That makes a grand total of 8t. Plus 16 minus 6. 16 minus 6 is 10, so we get a positive 10, so plus 10 in between. And our final answer is 8t plus 10. Okay, next we have number 6. So we'll take the 4, distribute it to the x plus 1, and we get 4x plus 4. And next, we have a small problem. We have minus sign times these guys. So really, that's minus 1. So negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times a negative 4 is a positive 4. Okay. So, combining like terms, we have 4x minus 1x, so that's 3x. We have plus 4 and a plus 4 for a grand total of plus 8. And that is our final answer there. All right, number 7. 2x minus 9x minus 4. So we're going to need to take this minus 1. There's an understood 1 there. So we need to make sure we write that in. That understood 1 times what's over here. We don't do anything with this. We just bring 2x down. All right, so that will be 2x, and that's minus 9x, and then that's plus 4. Combining like terms, there are no other constants, so he's going to stay by himself. But we combine 2x minus 9x. So 2 minus 9 is negative 7, so negative 7x. Plus 4 will bring it down. All right, number 8, we get another set where we've got to distribute a couple of things. Negative 6 times 5 is negative 30, only in these two. Negative 6 times x is minus 6x. All right, see if I can move this right here. Plus 1 times 13 is positive 13x. 1 times 1 is plus 1. Now, I'm sure you've noticed I draw these arrows everywhere. The point is I want to keep up with what I've multiplied and what I haven't. So I draw these as I go, as I write my answer down, to make sure that I actually do multiply it by everything. So we have a negative 6x and a plus 13x. So side note, that's negative 6 plus 13, and that's how many x's we're going to have. So that should be 7x. And then we've got this minus 30 plus 1. So minus 30 plus 1. That is a negative there. It's in front, so it's a negative. So add those together, you should get minus 29. And there's our answer for that one. All right, number 9. Two sets of parentheses again, but we've also got this constant down here. So we're going to end up bringing minus 12 down. That's all with that. All right, so minus parentheses, so negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Negative 1 times another understood 1. Negative times negative is positive, so positive 1x. Okay, next, minus 3. We're going to multiply the minus 3 there. So that's minus 18. Minus 3 times 8 is negative 24x, and we brought down that minus 12. All right, so combining like terms, I'm going to do the x's first, so plus 1x minus 24x. Again, that's positive 1x minus 24x. So I don't really need that plus sign right there. But I'm going to add those two together, 1 minus 24, and that's going to be x. How many x's? So that should be negative 23x. Okay. Now let's see. That's all the x's. Now I've got negative 2, minus 18, minus 12. So negative 2, the first one has to be negative, minus 18, minus 12. Now, maybe I should say it differently. The first one doesn't have to be negative, but when I read these, I say it's a negative 2 because there's nothing else there. Minus means you're dealing with two things. All right, so minus and negative are really the same thing. It's just we treat them differently depending on the context. So this is 18 minus 12. This is negative 2. So if we combine those, we should get, let's see, that's negative 20, negative 32. So negative 23x minus 32. You can see the difference how I'm saying that. All right, number 10. Notice we have lots of understood ones. We have 1 outside here, 1 right out here, 1 here, 1 here. So now let's figure out what we've got to do. 1 times 1x is 1x. 1 times positive 2 is plus 2. Multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything. Multiplying by a negative 1, however, does. Negative 1 times 1x is minus 1x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. And then we'll bring down minus 12x. Okay. Combining like terms, we have x's. We have 1x minus 1x minus 12x. So side note here, we want 1 minus 1 minus 12. And that'll be how many, that'll tell us how many x's we have. And that should be negative 12. Negative 12x. Okay. Now we have plus 2, and that's all the constants, so we have plus 4. So negative 12x plus 4 is our answer. That's all there is to it. Lots of steps, but we're doing the same thing over and over again. So just kind of get down what the steps are, and then you'll be good. All right, last page that we've got of these. First, we'll take and distribute the 2 to the x plus 1 here. So 2 times x, 2x. 2 times 1 is plus 2. Okay, next we've got a plus 3, so positive 3 times x is plus 3x. Positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So we'll combine some like terms. We've got 2x plus 3x, so that's a total of 5x, plus 2 minus 3, that's 2 minus 3, so negative 1, so minus 1. 5x minus 1. All right, number 12, we'll distribute 5 to A, so 5A, 5 to 2, that's plus 10. Okay, distribute a minus 1 here, it should be minus 1A, minus 3. Like terms, we have 5A minus 1A, that's 4A, plus 10 minus 3, that's plus 7. So 4A plus 7 should be our final answer with 12. All right, 13, distribute A2. So 2 times 3A, that's 6A. 2 times positive 2 is plus 4. All right, understood 1 out here. Negative 1 times 2A is minus 2A. Negative 1 times the 3 is minus 3. Combining like terms, we have 6A minus 2A, so that is 4A. Okay, then we've got plus 4 minus 3, that should be 1. So 4A plus 1 should be our final answer for 13. All right, 14, distribute a 3. 3 times t is 3t. 3 times 8 is 24. Second half, positive 6 to 4a is 24a plus 24a, 24t. 6 times a minus 1 is minus 6. Now, like terms, we have 3t plus 24t. That's 27t plus 24 minus 6. So 24 minus 6 is 18. So it's a positive 18, so we're going to have plus 18. So 27t plus 18 is number 14. 27t plus 18. Okay, now number 15, I'm actually going to leave that one blank for your notes, because I want you to actually do that one on your own. The distributive property is generalized as A times B plus C equals A times B plus A times C. State the property in your own words. I want you to try that, and we'll compare those in class together. Okay? All right, so I believe that is the end of these notes, and we have something to work on now.